want to discuss Neptune in Aries and what that looks like on an internal spectrum, and allow the explanation that I give today to lead us into how to maneuver through the Mars mission as we approach 2026. So I want to start by saying that we have a new moon in Libra on the 21st, and it's going to be going into the Scorpio degree, which is initiating us into this internal transformation where our mind has to be renewed. And I usually call this within the imprinted empire, the metamorphosis. So allowing us to actually utilize this new moon, this new platform, this new beginning, building a new foundation is going to allow us to actually further this experience where we have to utilize our internal voice and our intuition, our instincts, in order for this manifestation or the metamorphosis to actually start. So I have written down a couple of the placements that we have going through the month of October, and how I've been preparing for not just how to explain this, but Neptune itself is already ruled by our subconscious, the illusion, the film industry, photos, the visual experience of our human experience is being rooted in our identity. So I want to focus on how we can maneuver through this aspect, like building your identity up. But in order for us to discuss that, I need to get through a few points, and I want to put those first. So Neptune in Aries, in a humanistic way of explaining it, is that if you see somebody working as a beginner in anything right now, the way you perceive their experience as a beginner is going to hinder you in the progress you make once you see them at a later stage in their journey. So how I kind of put this together in a previous video, I was discussing ambition and goals. And that's two different people that come up. So discussing goals as itself, like the way that you utilize the goal setting and the way you execute your goals is going to be rooted in the way that you do everything. So people are going to have to establish their goals with execution plans. Now, let's talk about ambition. Ambition itself is somebody who speaks about the things that they're going to do, the things that they have done, and the places they want to go, the levels that they want to reach, and all those types of things. So allowing us to understand that the only way you can utilize this experience through manifesting, because we are all manifesting at every point, is the desires that we wish to achieve or experience. So with that being said, allowing us to understand exactly how to utilize ambition and goals together is establishing who is speaking about these goals. Now, Mars is a placement that we can use to show how execution styles are achieved. Now, ambition is ruled by wealth, resources, money, and status. We can all say that we want to reach levels of such status or hierarchies for whatever reason, but the goals that people have are rooted in their desires. So I just want to state that. But allowing us to understand that portion of it, hold on, sorry. Allowing ourselves to understand that portion of our execution styles, goals are rooted in things that we want to achieve. We have a goal because it's either emotionally attached to the things that we do, and the things that we want to achieve is going to progress us in some way, shape, or form. So it's formed in a way of craftsmanship. So I can say for myself, in the beginning of my metamorphosis from 2020, let's just say 2020 to 2025, I was able to understand that I am an ambitious person, although I didn't have goals. I had interest, and I was not setting goals within in those interests. So with that being said, I can understand the metamorphosis between me having ambition and setting goals through the ambition that I wanted to achieve. So those have to become a part of the execution plan for you to actually have worthy manifestations to discuss. So Neptune in Aries right now is going to be rooted in the way you identify your beginning stage. So how you show yourself in your beginning stages, not to the world, but to yourself. You're going to have to execute this in a way that you can maintain. So the identity that you form now is going to be rooted in the things that you do, who you become, and the way you execute your plans. So your Mars placement. I have already posted a video for the Mars mission and how you can execute it, how you can utilize your birth chart, and such things. However, as you are building in Neptune's energy of Aries, we are going to be utilizing the foundation of your identity. Your identity is going to be ruled in the manifestation that you want to become, because you have to morph into this identity that you are trying to achieve. So that's going to be rooted in attire, that's going to be rooted in professionalism, that's going to be rooted in your craftsmanship. So Neptune in Aries is already going to be the beginner stage of anything, because this is Aries energy where you are rooted in how you identify yourself in the beginning. The illusion that other people have of your beginning stage is none of your business. The way people perceive you in your beginning stages is none of your business. So I heard one of these readers that I listened to state the other day, sorry, I heard her mention, um, they commented on the draft, like they depicted the draft, they dissected the draft version. So, not to even play off that, but the only portion of your beginning stages that should be reported is the things that you learned. That's the only thing. After you learn those things and you are able to utilize lessons learned in those stages for other stages in your journey, is the only reason why you need to go back to the beginning stages of your journey to focus on anything at all besides the lessons. So the goal setting when it comes to Neptune and Aries, you're going to have to utilize exactly who is the person you want to become. What do they do? How do they act? How do they work? What do they value? All of these things are going to help you navigate through the Mars mission. And the Mars mission is from the house one to through house 8. So you're going to be utilizing how Mars travels through the houses. And right now, you're the first sign that is ruled by Mars before Scorpio. So within that whole foundation becoming something, you have to value everything that you are. Everything that you learned, everything that you're becoming is going to have to be rooted in the stages that you are. So you're going to have to meet yourself where you are. So allowing yourself to be valuable and be seen as valuable is the only way you can appreciate your journey. So let's jump to self-promotion. This is the 3 stages of the metamorphosis I like to speak about, but the stage that I'm referring to right now is going to be your midheaven, your MC, your 10th house. This placement, the sign that's in that house, is going to be ruled in who you're becoming. The first house and the 10th house is a square angle. That is tension. And I want to discuss why that's tension, because it's going to require you travel from your identity to professionalism. You can't do that without the journey of the 8 houses. You can't do that without your resources. You can't do that without your inner child. You can't do that without your work ethic. You cannot do that without a collaboration. So working through the way you present your values to yourself, and you have to perceive those values as something of use. And those are things that you have to self promote. You have to promote yourself into the next phase of your journey. And this is a part of metamorphosizing your experience, because you have to be the person to self promote. The external world cannot validate your resources. The only way your resources are valuable or validated is because you are able to utilize them and then make something from them. So let's just discuss the fact that in the beginning, Neptune in Aries, you have to build. In order for you to build, you have to create an idea. Idea, Neptune. Imagination, Neptune. Subconscious mind, Neptune. All of these things are going to be rooted in the illusion of your identity. You're going to have to start somewhere. And most of the time, people have to utilize these experiences and then try to validate it with the outside world. The outside world cannot validate this portion of your phase. Like your journey, this phase of your journey, no external validation will be valuable. So metamorphosizing this experience is your own doing. You have to be the one to self-promote. You have to be the one to critique. You cannot utilize external validation to validate your value. That doesn't work. So the next part of self-promotion requires your inner teenager, and I use that as the Mars placement. Your inner teenager is impulsive. Your inner teenager is ready to get things done. Your inner teenager is ready to learn or at least utilize the information they already know to execute a goal. So in reality, your inner teenager has the goals that they already want to achieve. They've already noticed that the inner child, meaning your moon placement, was already gravitating towards certain things in life. Your inner teenager is going to allow yourself to execute those gravitational pulls, even if it's in an impulsive way. Once you understand the impulsive way of life for you, not someone else telling you you're impulsive, the way you react and attract yourself to opportunities, inner teenager is going to show up in your professionalism, your midheaven. So this is where the 3 M's to your metamorphosis, the 3 M's to your metamorphosis is going to be your moon placement, your Mars placement, and your midheaven. That is your that's where your manifestation is going to be a metamorphosis journey. There's a lot of M's, and I'm getting tongue-tied, but this is the whole purpose of you understanding Neptune in Aries. Your moon, your Mars, and your midheaven are 3 points to this metamorphosis that's going to allow you to show value in your journey towards your goals. So, Neptune in Aries is going to be rooted in the way you perceive value, the way you perceive your identity, the way you perceive yourself in the role that you are trying to execute or obtain. These aspects of life are going to be so, and let me just say it this way, where you are trained to internalize the process when things get boring, you still have to want to learn what you're learning. You still want to have to understand that what you're doing is worth a bigger purpose than you realizing that you're getting bored. So, in the midst of understanding how valuable the goal is to you, is going to have to be rooted in your moon placement. So this is where the beginning stage is why I had to speak about everything else before we talk about the moon. So in your birth chart, the moon is placed, your moon, okay, the fourth house is ruled by the moon. However, your IC and your birth chart is ruled in the same house or around the same house. Typically, it's in the fourth house. So with that being said, your IC is rooted in your lineage, the way that your family raised you, the way that you have adapted to the foundation of how you were raised, and it's hard to break those cycles. This is another square energy, a square aspect to your identity. So it's hard to break these habits. It's hard to step away from these habits. It's fearful because you are starting something new and there is no support besides your own. So this is why tending to your inner child and making your inner child feel safe to explore, making your inner child's instinct nourished enough and supported enough to explore These aspects have to be nourished internally. This is the reason why external validation does not suit this part of your process. Metamorphosizing this experience internally and understanding why in the beginning stages your inner child needs to be the one leading this is because your inner child always found certain things interesting. There's no need to start at your teenage years and say certain things were interesting if back in the day it wasn't something that you begged for. The things that we used to beg for that we either got told no, we either got and found out it wasn't that cool. These are the references that we need to be striving towards when it comes to professionalism. Because when things get boring, your inner child still needs to be entertained. Your inner child still needs to be able to want to be interested in what you're discussing, what you're learning, what you're experiencing. All of these manifestations have to be rooted in an emotional connection. So what I've already offered to the Imprinted Empire as a resource, the archive itself, is the metamorphosizing your mentality to understand mental rehearsal. So, Scorpio energy, I'm a Scorpio rising. So, Scorpio energy is causing the tower. Scorpio energy enters a room and causes a tower. Scorpio energy allows a transformation to occur, even if it is very small, even if it is internally realized, but the external world has not caught up. Scorpio energy is going to realign you into your natural path. And that natural path is always going to be a square energy because it's rooted in your emotions, by your emotions reacting to the reality of that transformation is the reason why your identity feels attacked. This is a psychological aspect of astrology that people are not aware of until they are put in a situation where they have to either defend their identity, they have to defend their past, they have to defend their future, or they have to defend their professionalism. These are aspects of reality that we have to always get triggered to experience. The trigger is Scorpio energy. The attack to your identity, Aries, Mars. Aries and Scorpio are ruled by Mars. So the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And this is the reason why I call this your metamorphosis journey, because it is happening in internal aspect before it happens externally. Because everybody approaches that, I don't, fuck it, I'm about to do something else. Everybody approaches that internally before other people notice, another person says something to you, or you voice it yourself. Everybody is approached to the door of their manifestation before the external world witnesses it. Some people look at the door and walk right around the door. Some people look at the door, look at the doorknob, and talk about the door, and then walk around the door. Either way, it's inevitable. You're still gonna have to metamorphosize into the person you need to be in order to execute the goal, or to even get past what's approaching your life. So Neptune in Aries is going to show us exactly how the illusion that we believe that we're fulfilling right now is not in alignment to our manifestation, to our professionalism, to our goals and careers and achievements. So utilizing your moon sign is where I come in and I kind of help you nourish your ideas. So allowing yourself to become someone who sets goals and allowing your ambition to be where your sun sign allows you to be self-promoted. Your ego, meaning your sun sign, the sun sign that you have, whether it's Vedic astrology or tropical, your sun sign and the way your sun sign expresses himself as an element, your sun sign is going to self-promote your inner child. Your moon sign is going to be completely emotionally attached to the experiences that you're going through. After your moon sign is aware of it, you know what to do. The idea has been nourished. The idea has been taken care of. It has been supported with evidence or even experience. Your Mars placement inner teenager can execute the goal. Your sun sign is aware that your moon sign is connected. Your moon sign and your sun sign show up day and night. During the day, is your moon sign allowing yourself, is your sun sign allowing yourself to self promote at that moment? Are you able to look at how emotionally connected and how well you are able to articulate your connection to your goals? If that's not established, your sun sign has no way to shine. It cannot self promote until it's ready. The ego cannot flex unless you're ready. Your sun sign is the only person that validates your experiences through this metamorphosis. Your sun sign is the only person, the only essence of your personality that can self promote. You know what you're capable of. Your sun sign know what you're capable of. Your professionalism is going to be requiring you show up differently than your ego. So I like when I come across people who study psychology and astrology, human design, and such things and such systems that are able to conceptualize the experiences and put places with our personality to thoroughly review how we are utilizing our own energy. So I feel like that's the best way I can start off right now and understand that internally we are dealing with multiple different aspects of our reality to become someone new. We need all of our supporting fragments of our personality to become somebody new. So I just want to say that 2026, we are reprogramming our subconscious mind, and we're understanding that the only way we can utilize this energy is to build through metamorphosizing our life. So the new moon that we have on October 21st is going to be rooted in Libra and Scorpio energy. Now, those two signs are balancing out our internal world, our psychological understanding of our experience. This is a new foundation to enter a new journey, and you are the only person that can decide to start that new journey. Mars is in Scorpio, Venus is in Libra. These aspects are collaborating our transformation with reality. We have to act at this very moment. We have to balance out our emotions in order for us to continually act on this new timeline that we're all being presented with Pluto being in Aquarius. So let's just say that. So each role that we have moving forward is going to require us to show up differently. And I say show up differently, meaning to decide to continue embracing the metamorphosis that is required for us to reach our goals. So, as I said in the beginning, goals and ambition between someone's personality, that's two different people. Someone who has goals is usually not as ambitious as the person who is ambitious with no goals. You have to understand where you fit in and then adjust accordingly. And the last part that I want to discuss right now is that the easiest person to become your audience or your target audience or ideal client is the person you were just the season before. So how I would be taking this is the person that was transitioning from an employee to a freelancer is my ideal client. I had to rebrand, I had to start over and execute my target audience a little bit differently. So now that I know that, you have to do the same for you.